I inhale, M exhale, I inhale, M exhale, I M. I am. When a person arrives at this point, they naturally discover that every spiritual path, every practice is connected to all the others. Surrender and devotion naturally contain inquiry, and inquiry naturally returns to surrender. In this relative world, everything is several faces of one whole, and this wholeness cannot be separated from any dimension of it. So, from every corner, one naturally returns to wholeness. Wholeness requires nothing to be done. Everything is already complete. What complete here is what complete means here is this: there is only one wholeness, and outside of wholeness, there is no other body or entity. So, no matter how much one practices or cultivates, it simply cannot be done. Not only can it not be done, there is no need to do anything at all. Understanding this, who also naturally discover that I am, as discussed throughout the Complete Life series, is a wonderful reminder. I have often said that the practice of I am is easier for most people. I have also said that for someone who cannot manage inquiry, cannot manage surrender, the practice of I am paired with the breath and with witnessing is something most people can more easily engage with. And it can bring about a kind of focus. When focused, thoughts naturally diminish and even disappear. This makes it easier to return to the practice of inquiry. But once you have become familiar with the practice of I am, you will naturally discover that it is a suitable both for beginners and, at the same time, contains the highest truth. It can itself be called a supreme path. The vast majority of people find I am the easiest practice to do, and this itself already points to the greatest secret. To say it plainly, everything in the Complete Life series is a reversal, a turning back for a person to awaken. The most that is needed is to make a single decision, and one awakens. It has nothing to do with any doing, practice, or method. After awakening, one naturally discovers that nothing has happened, and awakening itself is our very nature. The most that can be said is that after awakening, we know it completely and no longer have any doubt. This is the only real difference from ordinary people. Awakening is our nature. It's also a bold acknowledgement that we, our true selves, are no different from God, from wholeness, from Buddha nature. We actually are that. The practice of I am is at most an affirmation of this realization. Through each breath, we are not only affirming, we are openly declaring from the heart, I am that. I am God. God is me. Aside from I, the greater I, the cosmic I, the whole I, which is both wholeness and emptiness, there is no other. Everything is that, only that. Nothing is not that. You and I are both that. In the beginning, this declaration brings a kind of steadiness and focus, like the effort of a mantra. Through repeated rewiring, it sinks into the subconscious, allowing this understanding to become our reality. Without knowing it, the I and the greater I merge, fully united with who we truly are. By the end, one naturally discovers this self contains this itself contains our highest realization. Through the most ordinary of actions, breathing, we offer nothing more than a light, effortless reminder. From within, we make a clear declaration. The practice of I am also expresses this. There is only the subject, and apart from the subject, no object. No other entity exists in truth. even this is only a metaphor. More accurately, even the subject does not exist. The practice of I am at most carries the remaining of subject or of emptiness. The subject or emptiness requires nothing to be done. Even realizing oneself is superfluous. Everything has always already been complete. It cannot be incomplete. So I am is at most a declaration of our nature, which is a completeness. For a person who sincerely practices I am, the power of this is greater than moving heaven to earth. In truth, the potential of each of us, our true selves, is not only capable of moving heaven and earth, the power is far greater too. Power is far greater still. We simply do not know it. Once we know, we do nothing more than lightly and effortlessly choose to use the two words I am as an effortless reminder, making the declaration once more in our hearts. Sometimes events carry us away. Carried away at most means our attention has been drawn into the dualistic human world. But through the two words I am, we naturally apply the brakes, make a reversal, and bring attention back to the wholeness that we already are. One naturally discovers that nothing has been lost and nothing has happened. At most, we have simply reconnected, plugged back into wholeness. It really is that simple. Now, let us do this practice together and live out the most precious gift the great cities have brought us. Every breath, we are aware of it. Long breaths, short breaths, we can observe it. In and out, we can witness it. We choose not to interfere with the breath. At most, we simply watch it. Let it be. Watch it. Then continue to let it be. Watch it again. Then continue to let it be. Now, lightly in the heart, keeping pace with each breath, we see I inwardly. Inhale, inwardly say I. Exhale, still inwardly say am. Through each breath, at most we simply stay close to I am. Inhale, I. Exhale, am. Use I to affirm inhale. Use am to affirm exhale. I am. Outside of I am, there is nothing. If a street thought arise, simply return to I am, flowing from the heart. Continue practicing and naturally discover that inhale and exhale no longer feel different. I am. I am. Naturally connects everything together. Continue the practice. And then naturally discover that it is through this I, the greater I, that all things are witnessed. The bigger I, the cosmic I, the oneness, the whole. All things are witnessed. No matter how difficult the situation before me, no matter how great the disaster, how deep the loss, how sharp the pain, I know it all with perfect clarity. At most, I am simply watching everything through this I am. I know with complete clarity that whatever can be experienced in the human world has nothing to do with the true I, with the true nature. Everything I can let go of. At most, I simply return again and again to the breath, to I am, to the I in the heart. Even the best of good news, winning an award, being praised, striking its reach, I can let it go. I know that all of it is inseparable from wholeness, and I am that. I am the wholeness. Where I am might take me, I no longer seek. It is no longer important to me. At most, I simply meet each moment through each breath, through each I am, through I am. I naturally live out joy, stillness, love, being, awareness, bliss. All thoughts naturally disappear with this. In truth, before they even arose, they had already disappeared because they never existed. Even the small self I have carried through this life does not exist. It is only because I didn't understand before that I still believed I need to overcome it, even to make it disappear. Now that I understand, at most I need only through I am, through each breath, to remember who I truly am. Who am I? It is really that simple. Naturally discovering that I have always already been perfect. I am. I am. The practice of the practice of equal equanimity. Equanimity. Okay. If a person inquires continuously from morning to night, even while sleeping, knowing that everything can be experienced is still illusion, extended through the mind within a very narrow, very limited range, knowing that whatever is before them, not this, not this, none of it is related to the real, knowing that wholeness is on a different track altogether. One naturally enters a state of seeing that everything is fine. and that only our nature remains. And through I am as a continuous reminder, nothing has ever left our nature. Apart from our nature, nothing is eternal, and choose no thing and no event is more important or less important than any other. In this way, a person sees everything as equal. Simple as this sounds, it can also be called the most difficult. In this human world, everything we encounter from morning to night is constantly pulling us away, drawing us into a limited range. At this point, the best practice is to live out this most ultimate truth. From the moment of waking to the end of the day, with every person and everything encountered, remind yourself, in truth, everything is equal. By nature, there are people we would not greet, would not be interested in, and would not want to ask about. Now, upon meeting them, we can use the encounter as practice. Treat it as a completely new experience. Try to make more contact. Ask more questions. In each encounter, continually remind yourself everything is equal. Perhaps it is someone standing nearby who is a stranger, or an unassuming person in service, a cleaning colleague, a delivery person, someone we may see regularly but never greet, never wonder about their life. Now, when we meet them, we can take the initiative to ask a few more questions, as if meeting someone for the first time and wanting to know them better. This gives us a wonderful opportunity to practice. In each new acquaintance, continually remind ourselves everything is equal. At noon, the person in the elevator, the person who happens to sit at the same table for lunch, the cashier at the register, all the same. We not only offer a friendly smile, but ask a few more questions. Perhaps we are curious about how they are feeling at that moment, what kind of people and situations they encounter in their work. Like meeting a friend for the first time, we naturally want to know more, want to experience more. Through these encounters, continually remind ourselves everything is equal. In the afternoon, perhaps it is a supervisor we have never dared speak to, a colleague from another different department, a receptionist when visiting a client, a taxi driver, all the same. Treat all of them the same as though they are a friend we are meeting for the first time today. At this moment, through this person before us, the life they led, what they value, what they care for, how they feel right now, continually remind ourselves everything is equal. After work, the person who happens to walk out of the subway exit at the same time, the neighbor by the mailbox you don't know well, the person walking their dog, all the same. Try to make a bit more contact. Take it as the day's practice, continually reminding yourself everything is equal. In this way, you may find that no matter where you are, no one is truly a stranger and no one is truly an acquaintance. Whoever it is, they are equal. We can treat everyone as equal. In every moment, we can engage fully, with no one being more important or less important. In this way, there is less separation between ourselves and others. No one sorted into more important and no one sorted into less important. On weekends or during morning and evening walks, looking at each tree, each flower, each stone before us, we naturally discover they are all equal. And we know that difference is entirely a projection of the mind. Since everything is equal, nothing is more important or less important than anything else. We can naturally rest our attention on a stone, a flower, a tree, as if seeing it for the first time. Try it. Can you pay more attention to it? See what it looks like. Notice what is distinctive about it. Describe it all inwardly to yourself. Return to this practice at any moment. And a person naturally discovers not only events equal to events, people equal to people, things equal to things, good events equal to bad events, even things we would not ordinarily think to compare. A person and a thing and an event are in fact equal. Every moment is equal to every other moment. And so, no moment is more important than any other moment. See whether this understanding can be lived through the practice. A person naturally and unknowingly enters great equanimity, knowing that in living this life, no destiny is better than the one you have now, and no destiny is worse than the one you have now. Arriving here, there is actually nowhere to go, and in fact, nowhere else to go. No destiny needs to be changed, nothing needs to be corrected, and even less does this world need to be transformed. A person thus lightly and effortlessly steps outside the human world while still living within it. This is what the Christian friends often call being in this world, but not of this world. Eventually, even awakening and non awakening are the same. The two states, or indeed no states, or any states, are equal. Every moment can be completely released, allowed to live itself out. And this, and thus, without knowing it, a person awakens. In the process of awakening, they also know there is no difference. With no difference in any moment, a person is simply awake. Thank you.